Going live. You're live.
No.
Okay, one moment. Can you check now?
Let me go back that. Yeah.
Oh, what is this? Last
Yes,
moment.
now. Yes, now.
Oh, so sorry, Lakshmi. I think you have to start again with the intro.
No worries. I will. We good now?
Yes, good to go.
Perfect. So let me quickly take a look at the chat. Yes, visible gray. Okay. So again, hi. Uh, quick introduction. Like I said, Bharat already covered these points. This is the basic weightage of how you will get the questions. I'm here to cover the last two sections, very basic concepts and important topics. Like I said before, I'm going to focus less on the visualization part, more on the managing and security of Power BI because I feel that's where people struggle a lot. Quick introduction about me. My name is Lakshmi. You have the QR code with all the necessary links that you can use to connect with me. I'm going to drop those links in the WhatsApp chat that we have. I'm also one of the Power BI World Championship finalists. I'm really proud to say that. And I've been certified with PL 300 for past 3 to 4 years. And like I was saying, if you are going to stick with me till the end, and somewhere in the middle, I'm going to throw in a couple of questions, and I will also tell you tricks on how you can tackle those type of questions. And these tricks really helped me when I was giving my PL 300. So stay with me. Also, I'm one of the Microsoft MVPs in the data platform category, specializing in Power BI. I post lots and lots of stuff on Power BI on LinkedIn. I also have a technical blog on Medium. I can share those links too. On a professional level, I'm a data analyst. I play with Power BI almost every single day. On a personal level, I'm a dog mom. The picture you see there, that's my dog. He's Casper. And yes, I think we're ready to go. First, like I said, we're going to cover the visualization aspect. I'm going to keep it very, very short on that part. If you have any questions, we can always take those up post the session. First, we're going to start with report design requirements. So when after doing all your modeling stuff and you are ready to start your report, what are the basic requirements that you need? First, you need to know who your audience is. So the I know these are going to be very, very basic, but I did get a few questions on these. So I made sure to include the slides, to include the topics that I got on my PL 300. So one of the questions that I got was, I think it was a multiple choice question wherein they asked me which one of these is not a basic report design requirement. So basically, you need to know which are the basic requirements in order to answer that question. So with that being said, first requirement is you need to know your audience. On a broad level, it's categorized into three parts. The first one is executives, and then you have analysts, and then you have information workers. Executives, basically all the top level, C level executives, they are the one who are responsible to plan and decide everything. Analysts, people like us who play with Power BI. So basically, you are involved in the process, you develop the process, or you improve the process. And then we have someone called an information worker. This person is basically helps you take real-time decisions, take actions on the data that you have. Now, quick example of an information worker is, say, an inventory manager. You're working in a store. If you are the inventory manager, based on the data, based on the visuals that the data analyst is going to give you, you are going to make sure that you take the right decisions. So that's number one. Next is you need to determine the report type. So whenever you're creating reports, like I say, you need to know who your end audience is, and then you need to create reports accordingly. If you're creating a report for the executive, the top level people, just covering us like all the key metrics is enough. So basically, just give them a dashboard. Dashboard, single page with lots of important KPIs. Say you are going to create something for the analyst, you need to give analytical report types. If it's a information worker, you need to give operational report types. If it's just a general, you can give an educational or an infographic style. So that's number two. Moving on, very important, you really need to define your UI requirements. UI is user interface. So when I say UI, it's always about how reports are consumed or the look and feel of the report. Then you need to define your UX requirements. UX is basically the user experience. So we've covered four. quick recap is know your audience, know what type of report you need to create, what is the UI requirement, what is the UX experiment, UX requirements. So this is one important aspect of report designing. Next, let's get into designing Power BI reports. So in the session, I am not going to cover what is a line chart, what is a bar chart, but just going to keep it very, very basic and cover the things that we often tend to miss. Now, whenever you create a report, this is a structure that you need to remember. So whenever you get any question on report structure, this particular image that you see on the screen should pop in your head. It will help you answer so many questions. First, a report is made up of pages. Pages are in turn made up of visuals and elements. So always we tend to say visuals and we tend to forget elements. That's why I made sure I put report made up of pages. Pages are made up of visuals and elements. Let's talk about visuals. What are visuals? All the fancy line charts, bar charts, pie charts that we put on the report pages are visuals. Next, we have elements. So elements are basically anything that does not require your data model, I mean, your semantic models. Basically, the images, the text boxes, and the beautiful like dividers that we add. So all those are called elements. So, like I said, your visuals will depend on your semantic model. That's why in the image you see visuals query from the semantic models and elements have no connection to the semantic model. So whenever there's any question on the report structure, this particular image will help you solve a lot of questions. Next, let's talk about how do you create a layout? How do you design an analytical report layout? Keeping it very short, always remember that the report design. So whenever you create any design, it's not just logic. It's basically a blend of science and art. There's a lot of psychological factors available. And there are a lot of, there are ways of how you should do things. Now, very basic is placement. Whenever you place visuals, make sure like they have a proper layout. Alignment, make sure all of them are aligned together, both vertically, horizontally. They should be equally spaced as well. Balance, do not have 50, 60 KPI cards in one particular page. Have a proper balance, like 3 KPI cards, 2 visuals, 1 table, you're good to go. Proximity, make sure there is enough white space between the visuals. Do not cramp or stuff all your visuals in the chart. And then we're going to talk about color contrast. You cannot have the foreground and background not in a good color contrast because it's going to hurt your accessibility. Repetition, do not have redundant visuals. Do not show the same data in pie charts as well as a table. So these are very basic concepts of how you can design your analytical report layout. Next, how do you make it visually aesthetic? So what happens is this is the area where most of us struggle. We are able to find out all the insights or we are able to jot down all the charts. But making those beautiful, getting that story out of the visuals is where we do not succeed. So I actually have a separate, totally entire session for this. Maybe I can coordinate with Bharath and we can organize something on that. But for now, all you need to know is these 6 points. In order to make sure your entire reports are visually appealing, you need to make sure the spacing is right. Like I said, the visuals should be equally spaced. Margins, you cannot have all the visuals like sticking to each other without proper margins. Then comes to size. Choosing your canvas size plus choosing your visual size matters. Next, alignment. Like I said before, alignment of visuals, colors, color contrast, and consistency. If the positives are in green, all throughout the report, the positives should be in green. You cannot suddenly change it to blue. So these are the 6 points that are very important to have a visually appealing report. Any questions so far? Let me quickly jump. Okay. Oh, Bharat is doing a great job answering questions. Perfect. Next, slicers and filters. So the reason why we use Power BI is interactivity, right? You click a visual, everything changes. You click another visual, everything changes. Now, the very major part of this interactivity are slicers and filters. I just put in a chart right here. I will share this PPT with, I'll put in a link in the group so that you can download this. So before going to the exam, this is what you need to know about slicers, about filters, And any question that you get where they're comparing slices and filters, this table will solve it. In simple words, what is a slicer? A slicer is a visual that is placed on a report page. What is a filter? It's basically a setting option that restricts the data in the visuals. Slicer, since I said it is placed on your report, it's going to be visible to the end users. Filter is, it depends. I mean, it can depends on the settings. I will show you what this means. And that's majorly important thing that you need to know. So whenever the word slicer comes, you should know that it's a visual that the end user is going to see. Whenever you see the filter, it's basically an inbuilt setting that I put. So it might be visible, it might not be visible. Next, going in deep to filters. So whenever we talk about filters, there are these type of filters. Like you can put filters on the semantic model, filters on report level, page level, visual level, and measures, which also act as filters. Now, focusing majorly on the report structure are report level filter, page level filter, and visual level filters. I will show you a live demo about it. Now, when you want to control these report level, visual level, and page level, you use the filter pane. So what you see on the screen is called a filter pane. Let me see if my pen decides to work. Okay, so this particular section, what you see here is called a filter pane. In the filter pane, you see how it says filter on this visual. So basically, visual level filter. When it says on this page, it's going to be page level filter. On all pages, it's going to be a report level filter. So simple English words, if you're going to add any data field in here, it's going to affect all the pages. So these are quick things that you should know, that three type of filters are available on a report structure. Next is, so when you add any sort of filter, you have these type of options that come up based on the data type of that field. Now, when I say weekday, it's obviously going to be text. So you can have three types of filtering in there: advanced, basic, and top end. This was one of the questions that I did get. So pay attention to this. If it is a date field, you will get a couple more options like relative date and time. So when you are playing around with Power BI, make sure you note that for text, for numbers, and for date and time field, the filter types will be different. Quick things to note here. There are a couple of things that you could do. One is you can hide this filter using the eye icon right here. So what happens is, once you create the filter and publish it to your Power BI service, if you do not hide these filters, you will be able to, the end user will be able to see the filter. So as a good practice, always remember to hide your filters. Another good thing is locking your filter. We do not want if you do not want the end user to play around with the slices, make sure you lock it. One more quick thing that you could do is you can basically hide the entire filter pane. So instead of hiding each and every visual here, you can go ahead and hide the entire filter pane. Quickly opening my Power BI screen. Can I get a quick thumbs up or a quick emoji if you could see my Power BI screen? Oh, great. Okay, so this, do not worry about what is in there, but I am just going to talk about the filters. So remember I told you there are three type of filters: the visual level filter. Okay, so this is where you find the visual, the filter pane first of all on the right side. If you do not see an interface like this, just go to view and see, you will find it. Okay, so coming to the filters option, like I said on this visual. So what happens is, if you click a visual, you will be able to see this. But if you do not click a visual, you will only be able to see two filters. So do not get confused. Once you click the visual, you will be able to see everything. So these are the visual level filters. They simply, you can select what you want. For example, let me just show you. Say I'm going to select Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's going to filter it out. So that's pretty much about the filters. Nothing fancy right here. So just wanted to show you that. Moving on, slicers. So like in the previous slide, we covered filters, and now we are going to cover slicers. What does slicers do? It helps you filter other visuals. So basically, four type of slicers are available. And the slicers with the thunder icon that you see are the slicers which are in preview currently. But make sure you know what these are. Like there's a button slicer, there's a list slicer, there's a text slicer, and then there's our native slicer. This is the normal slicer that we tend to use. Now, very important thing, or I think I got one or two questions based on this slicer part was how you can control the interactivity. I will show you a live demo in Power BI, but the simple question that I got was, where do you find the edit interactions option for the slicer? And I totally forgot that it was the format. I mean, I knew it existed, but I did not remember that it was format. So keep in mind that you have to go to the first, you have to click on the slicer, go to the format tab, and that's where you're going to find your edit interactions. The next question that I got are, what are the types of interactions that you see under the slicer? So there are three: cross highlight, cross filter, and no interaction. Basically, you can stop the interaction. Let me quickly show you in Power BI what I mean. Yeah. So, uh, say I have two simple visuals right here, a bar chart and a pie chart. Now, you see how when I click Monday, my pie chart gets highlighted. If I click Tuesday, my chart gets highlighted. Maybe let me switch on the legends to make it more easy to understand. So what I'm trying to show you is how both the visuals are dependent on each other, or I could say interact with each other. If you want to stop this interaction, there are a couple of ways you could do. But first, we're going to focus on the edit interaction. What you do is you're going to click this particular visual, go to format, and go to edit interactions. Once you go to edit interactions, on all the other visuals except the selected visual, you will see these three icons on the top. The first one is going to be filtering, so cross filtering. Then I have cross highlighting, and then the simple sign cross that means no interaction. Let's play around and see with each of them. Now, by default, keep in mind it's always cross highlighting. So that was also one of the questions. Like by default, what is the interaction between two charts? So that's going to be cross highlighting. Now, say I'm going to play around with filtering. I've selected cross filtering right now. What happens when I click on cross filtering is whenever I click a particular weekday. So I've selected Wednesday here. You see how all my other bars went away and Wednesday got filtered. So basically, cross filtering is you're going to filter one out of many. Now let's go on to highlighting. In highlighting, what happens is every bar will stay, but the selected bar will get highlighted. So you see how when I click Wednesday, my Wednesday bar gets highlighted. So that's cross highlighting. When you select none, no matter what you're going to select here, you see, whatever you select here, none of the things are going to change. So keep this in mind. Three types of filtering: cross filter, cross highlight, and no interactions. This particular edit interaction is found in the format tab. Perfect. Moving on. We're going to talk about other filtering techniques that we know. One is visual interactions. I just spoke about it. Then there's something called drill through, report tooltips, bookmarks, filter pane, and query reduction options. I am going to cover only the query reduction options right here because all the other five, I'm sure all of us keep playing around with. For query reduction options, so remember I told you in order to stop interactions between visuals, you could either use edit interactions or you could completely stop single click. The way you do that is you go to optimize and then there's something called optimization presets. By default, keep in mind, optimization presets is set to interactivity. And if you see right here, there are three types of optimization presets: query reduction, interactivity, and customize. When I talk about interactivity is the default. Whenever I click a visual, the other visual gets affected. Now, whenever I'm going to enable query reduction, so I have enabled query reduction, no matter what I do, it will not get filtered or it will not. Oh, yeah. You see how it doesn't get affected? That's because my query reduction is switched on. So keep in mind, three types are available. Let me put it back to interactivity. Query reduction will stop the interaction. Interactivity will enable the interaction. Advantages of using optimization presets is just by a single click, the entire interactivity of the report can be stopped or started. But if you decide to use edit interactions option, you have to do each one of the, you have to edit each of the interactions manually. Perfect. So that's pretty much about it. Coming back now, let's move on to UX. How can you improve the Power BI user experience? Just to make sure everything is going good, I'm going to take a quick look in the chat. Okay, I think we're good. Great. Now I'm going to talk about the basic user experience flow. Now, whenever we create a report, you're always going to start with high level metrics. Then we're going to add visuals to support those high level metrics. And then we're going to add details if required. So generally, not just in case of PL300, whenever you create a report, keep this in mind. Just keeping these things in mind, your storytelling will automatically come out. So whenever you have a problem, find out what the high level metrics are. So basically high level solutions. Then find some of the visuals that support the solutions that you've provided, and then more details if needed. So keep this in mind. Now, in order to enhance the user experience, there are a couple of techniques. The first is drill down. What drill down means, I'll show you a live demo about it. So basically, one is adding drillable visuals, in short called as drill down, adding tooltips. Now, very important thing, there are two types of tooltips, visual tooltips and page tooltips. I did get a question on this, so keep this in mind. And then we have drill through. So let me quickly also show you. I'll show you this on in Power BI. So let's talk about drill down and tooltips for today. Now, when I talk about drill down, say I have a visual, very simple bar visual right here. You see how I have these arrows on top, right? So these are what help you drill down or drill up. So the like you'll see up arrow, down arrow, and then you have two double arrow, and then you have a branched arrow, basically a hierarchy arrow. Make sure you go around, play with each of these arrows to understand them better. So when I click on drill down, it will immediately take me to the next hierarchy. Now, let me quickly show you that I have two hierarchies. The first hierarchy is the weekday, and the second hierarchy is the student name. Even though I have two hierarchies, by default, bar chart will just show me one. Now, when you want to drill down, what you do is you use these arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and use these arrows. The first arrow will basically just switching on my drill down. That's it. So when I do a right click here, I will get an option called drill down. The second one will automatically take you to the next level in the hierarchy. Now here I just have two hierarchies. So when I click on this, you see how the weekdays changed into student names. So that was the the third arrow. And then expand all is basically will give you a consolidated visual like this. So I had a question in my PL300 where I was shown this image and I was asked on how should I achieve this. There were sentences there. So simple answer is make sure you have hierarchies in your y-axis. Make sure you have enabled, use this, I mean, there was the symbol divided arrow symbol. So once you click on that, the bar chart will take you to the lowest level of hierarchy and give you a consolidated result. So just showing it to you again, initial view, I have weekdays. If I have to drill down, just use the double arrows here to go to the next level. But if you want a consolidated view, just use this divided arrow to go to the consolidated view. So this is about drill down. Next, let's talk about tooltips. You know how in Power BI, by default, you have tooltips switched on, right? So I think, yeah, for each visual, so like I told you, there are two types of tooltips, visual tooltips and page tooltips. Talking about the visual tooltips, click on the visual, go to your settings, you will find an option called tooltips. You can simply, just quick tip here, the format option has a search bar. Make sure you just type in tooltip there, it will directly take you to tooltip and enable it. Now, by default, Power BI gives you tooltips like these. These tooltips occur only when you hover over this particular visual, and hence they are called visual tooltip. But now, look at this, wherein when I hover over this particular eye icon, I get something like this. Now, this is created using a page tooltip. Very simple. I had a question in PL300 where they asked me step-by-step procedure of creating a page tooltip. And I had to match Yeah, I had to pick the step and put it in order. So just telling you what the steps are. First, you will create a new page. Second, you are going to go to the settings of the page and change the type to tooltip. So when you go to the canvas settings, in the type, you will see tooltip. Once you set it as tooltip, add whatever data you want to add here, image, a card, visual, or whatever it is. Then go back and whatever element you are using, click on that element, go to the tooltip property. In the type, since I want a report page as a tooltip, make sure you have report page selected, and then automatically you will see that I have my tooltip page name called about. So if you see in the bottom, the name of my tooltip page is about, that comes up, and just click it. So what I'm doing is first creating a tooltip page, adding in whatever element I want, going back to my visual, e- enabling the tooltip option, making sure I link the tooltip page to this particular visual. So these are the steps of how you could you could link a tooltip page to any visual. So that's pretty much about the tooltip. So keep in mind there are two types of tooltips. Do not forget that. Great. Next comes the interesting and I think most awaited part, because I've been seeing a lot of questions, people asking about this. I'm going to take a quick look into the chat. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, there's someone who asked the question, difference between the two arrows and the branch arrows. That's a great question. I will show it to you again. So when you see two arrows, it's just the next level. So when you hover on that, it tells you, it takes you to the next level in the hierarchy. So let me just click you. When I click it here, you see how it directly went to the next level. But the branched arrow that you see will take you to the lowest level. So when I click the branched arrow, you see how every lowest level has come up as a consolidated view. So that's really important to understand the differences here. Perfect. RLS. Yes, we are going to cover that. Okay, let's get started with managing and securing Power BI. This is mostly about Power BI service. Now, let's get started. First, quick introduction about why you need to know this. We as a data analysts, you've created beautiful reports, interactive visuals, everything is good. Now, when you want to share it to someone, how do you do it? Say your leadership team came to you and said, send me the reports access right now. Your colleagues are coming and telling you that from a different department that please send your reports to me because I need to do some changes. So these are the scenarios wherein sharing of Power BI is really important. Now, there is one problem. It is very easy for us to share the PBIX. I mean, I can just email the PBIX file, but what are the drawbacks? One, version control issues. Say, I created a PBIX file and I sent it to Bharath. Now, Bharath made some changes and did not send back to me. So I kept making changes in my Power BI report. So now what happened is I have one version of Power BI report and Bharath has one version of Power BI report. So if you do not have proper sharing enabled, there's always going to be a version control issue. Next, data inconsistency. Like I said, what if I change something on my side and Bharath changes something on his side? There's going to be a lot of data inconsistency. And then collaboration is tough, obviously, right? Because I need to send the PBIX to Bharath, and then Bharath has to make changes and send it back to me. So the reason I'm sharing the disadvantages is because I got a question on this, wherein they asked me like, which one of them is not a problem? Like, what is not an issue? So maybe basically you need to know the issues. So keep these in mind. Version controlling is a problem, data inconsistency is a problem, and collaboration becomes a problem if you do not have a proper sharing system. Next, now this is where to solve this problem, Power BI service comes in. Quick thing to note is when you create something in Power BI report, Power BI desktop, and you publish your report to the Power BI service, what happens? Power BI service is basically a central system. It is web based, basically browser based. So I've highlighted a couple of words in bold. So always keep those words on in your mind. So whenever you hear the word Power BI service, things that should come into your mind is publishing, the word publishing, because The way you put a report inside from desktop to service is publishing. Then you need to know that Power BI service is a central unified place. It is web-based or browser-based. What happens when you have Power BI service is users can securely, they can see, they can interact and collaborate. So quick recap of what Power BI service is. You publish your reports from desktop to Power BI service. Power BI service is a central web-based, browser-based environment. What happens there is users can view, can interact, and collaborate. Keep these things in mind. Next, Power BI service. Now, like I said, whenever you hear the word Power BI service, this image should come to your mind. This image is going to solve a lot of questions. Very, very simple. What happens? Remember, I told the word publish. Keep that in mind. Where are you publishing from? From Power BI desktop. Where are you publishing to is Power BI service. Now, since I said it's a web-based, so that's why it's in the form of a cloud, so that you remember that it's web-based. And all my elements are inside my cloud. So basically, it is centralized. What is there inside Power BI service is Workspace. So this is something which you really need to know. Workspace is the top level. Then what are the components that can be inside a workspace? There are lots, but the main things that we're going to cover are reports, semantic models. One quick thing, semantic models were called as data sets before. Keep that in mind. Sometimes in PL300, if they, I think one of my mentee had this issue wherein there were 2 to 3 questions where instead of using semantic models, data sets were given because semantic models were called data sets before. So do not get confused. Then workspaces can have dashboards and app. Quick thing to note is the way you access Power BI service is using this hyperlink app.powerbi.com. I'm going to show that to you. So yes, so make sure you keep this particular image in mind. It will solve a lot of questions. What is the basic workflow of a Power BI service? One, obviously you need to build a report in Power BI desktop, and then that's it. Just got to go and publish it in your Power BI service. I will show you a live demo of what I mean. Now, one more question I got asked was, what are the building blocks of Power BI service? It was a multiple choice questions. So my first option had 5, 6 options, second option had 3, 4 options, fourth, like that similarly. And you have to keep in mind that building blocks of Power BI service are just these: workspaces, apps, reports, dashboards, and semantic models. Sometimes I think they gave visuals, they gave shapes, they gave bookmarks, just to make you confused. Whatever is there in Power BI, they're going to include. But whenever you see this word building blocks of Power BI service, these are the only 5 blocks. In order to remember is use this acronym called WORDS. So instead of words, it's just going to be WORDS: workspaces, apps, reports, dashboards, and semantic models. So whenever the question says building blocks, remember words, check each option where you find words and tick it, you're good to go. Taking a look into the chat. Oh, wow, such nice comments. Thank you so much, everyone. Great. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to cover a couple of important topics under the what's. First is workspaces. What are workspaces? Just remember the bold content, the bold words here. What are workspaces? They are folders or containers. So basically, whatever you create in Power BI, you're going to put it in a folder. That is your workspace. What do? What do folders do? They're going to help you organize and manage things. That's it. So basically, they're going to organize and manage things. One important word here is one place. You remember the cloud diagram that I showed you? My workspace had reports, had apps, had dashboards. So make sure you remember they help and organize everything in one place. Now, when it comes to workspaces, this was also an important question. Keep this in mind. There are 2 types of workspaces. One is my workspace, which is default, and it is private to an individual user. If I log in using my email ID, lakshmi@gmail.com, obviously you cannot use Gmail. I'm just giving you an example, lakshmi@xyz.com. I will automatically have a workspace called my workspace. I will just show it to you right now. Then you have something called shared workspaces. So basically, all the other workspaces that you have, you can assign them to multiple users. So Workspaces are folders and containers where all your Power BI stuff stays. They help you organize and manage everything in one place. There are two types of workspaces, my workspace and shared workspace. Let me quickly jump on to, so this is Power BI desktop. Go to workspaces, you see how you have my workspace by default and then all the other workspaces you're working on. Now, I have one workspace called Power BI Database Submissions. For people who know me, I take part in a lot of database challenges. So I have a separate workspace there where I store everything. So this is a workspace. Now, when I go to new item, you see everything that can be a part of the workspace. Remember, I told you about words, workspace, then you can have reports, you can have apps in here, you can have dashboards in here. So this is the workspace, it's a container. What else do I need to show you here? Yeah, that's it. So that was basically your workspaces. Next, moving to reports. What are reports? Everything that you create in Power BI desktop are basically called as reports. Reports, keep in mind, it can either have one or more pages. Each page can either have one or more visuals. Common sense. Now, presenting data as visuals, why do you need to do it? Because it makes things easier. That was not important. I have no idea why I put it in there. Now, the visuals, one thing you need to remember is the visuals are not static. Like I told you, the specialty of Power BI is interactivity. So keep that in mind. Reports make visuals interactive. So that is basics about reports. Semantic models or data sets as called previously. Now, when you are creating visuals, what do you use to create visuals? You need to have a source of data, right? That source of data is called semantic model. So whenever you hear the word semantic model, the first thing that has to come into your mind is the source of data, data source. What this data source does is helps you in reporting and visualization. Now, the data source, what can the data source be? The data source is basically collection of tables. If there are two tables, obviously there will be a relationship between tables. So basically collection of tables. And if you're going to create any measures, calculated columns, calculated groups, that's also going to be part of your semantic model. So semantic model is anything that you use to create your visuals. Why do we need semantic model is basically helps to keep your data structured, right? I mean, if you need to know what tables you want, like if you need to know what the relationship between two tables are, you need to know what the tables are first. And then you need to know what type of relationships they are. So keep those in mind. Next, two important words you always have to keep in mind is semantic models can be promoted or even certified. I will cover both of these just down the line in the session, but keep this in mind. I think I had a question on this wherein they added words like promoted, certified, sensitivity label, and a couple of other jazzy terms, and I got confused. So whenever it's semantic models, it can either be promoted or be certified. Just keep that in mind. What the use of this promotion and certification is, make sure that the right users have access to the right data. If I am from HR department, I should just see data about the HR department. I should not see all the data about what the sales is or what the profit is. So in order to make sure that that happens, right people find the right data for the reports, semantic models can be either promoted or certified. Keep these two words in mind. Now, let's talk about dashboards. This is a very contradicting, I would say, topic wherein people get confused between reports and dashboards. As per Microsoft documentation, reports can be one page or more page, but dashboards have to be one page. So whenever you see the word dashboard in your PL 300, first thing that has to come into your mind that it is a single page. Next thing that has to come in mind is it can pull data from multiple reports and models. If I have one table in one work, like if I have 2 to 3 different reports, I can take one visual from each report to create a dashboard. So whenever there's this word called dashboard, keep in mind single page, pull data from different reports or different models. Why do we need dashboards? Is quick insights. Like I said, say I have a report, I created like 3 to 4 reports, and then now my manager is asking me for a couple of things. I do not have to go and create another report or consolidate all of them. I can just pick each visual, pin those visuals into my dashboards. The reason, it helps you focus on quick insights. But on the other hand, reports help you to no more detailed information. Keep that in mind. Next, remember this word called alerts. So whenever you see the word alerts, the first thing that has to come in mind is dashboards. You can set alerts on your dashboards. I will talk about this in a couple of minutes. Next, dashboards are only possible to be created in Power BI service. The reason, I know this might be very, very basic. The reason I'm covering is I had a question where they asked me, what are the following applied to dashboards? And I needed to know that I think I made a mistake here because I did not focus on the word alerts. That's why I wanted to make sure you know dashboards are single page visuals, single page visual summaries, can pull data from different reports, quick insights. You can set alerts on dashboards on particular visuals, and dashboards are only possible in Power BI service. One more word that you need to remember is called pinning. So when I say I can pull visuals from each report, is basically I have to pin a visual from a report. When you pin a visual, that particular element is called a tile. What did I do? Okay, that element is called a tile. So when it comes to dashboard, you pin a visual, which is called a tile. Like I said before, you can have tiles from different reports. I will show a live demo of that. Before that, quick comparison between dashboards and reports. Be very, very careful about this. I think these are a couple of interview questions too, where they do ask about dashboards and reports. So I will be sharing this PPT, go through it later. Um, okay, let's finish this and then I'll show you the dashboards and reports. Coming to apps, what are apps? Apps are easy way to share related content in one place. Basically, apps. You use apps, applications on your phone, right? What does it do? Basically, all important thing in one place, right? Say, let's talk about Instagram. Instagram is one place wherein I have my reels. I have my normal photo content that I can put. I can put long form of content too. So all these related, my reels, my stories, my posts, all are packed together in one application called Instagram. Similarly, in Power BI, you can have all the related content at one place and call it as apps. Whenever you heard the word apps, remember Instagram. Simple. Now, why do we need that? It's a great way to share content to a larger audience. Obviously, right now, imagine you had apps separately for stories, separately for your posts, and separately for your videos. Don't you think it's going to be really frustrating if you want to share something? Now, say I want Bharat to go ahead and like one of my posts. I have to go and send the link of the post. Then I need to go to the other app, find a video, and send the link of the video to him. But instead, if I have everything together, Bharat can just go to my profile on Instagram and see whatever he wants to see, right? So that's why apps are really important when you have a large audience. Now, let me quickly show you what do I mean by I am on time, right? Okay, great. So let me show you. So this is my workspace where I am at. I have my reports and semantic models. Say I have my Power BI report right here. In order to push my Power BI report from the desktop to my Power BI service, I have to use publish. You will find publish right here, or you can go to file and you will find publish right here as well. Keep that in mind. Once you hit publish, you will come to this place and I have my report right here. One thing to remember, whenever you publish a report, all the underlying data, so all the semantic model also gets published. So keep in mind these icons, the three lines that you see is basically your report, and the other one is your semantic model. Let me quickly get into the report. So this is my report that I just published. Now, so I hope you understood what the report is. Now, let's talk about dashboard. I'm going to go to new item. I'm going to select dashboard, give a dashboard name. Let's give PL300 and hit create. Now, when you create a dashboard, you get a blank page like this. Now you need to add visuals to your report. Now, what I did is I opened this. I came to this visual. You see this pin icon. Remember, I told you the word pinning, right? So click on the pin icon and then add it to your existing dashboard or your new dashboard. I created a dashboard called PL300. Go ahead and pin it. Now, when I go to my report, you see how I get my visual here. Now, the best part, let me go to some random other report that I have. So I have a report called birds, something that I did long back. And then say I have this particular visual. Going ahead and pinning this as well to my dashboard called PL300, hit it, go back here. You see how from two different reports, I was able to get two visuals into a particular frame that's called a dashboard. Simple, right? Now let's look at app. Similarly, since apps are part of the workspace building blocks, going to new item and then hitting on app, giving a name, let's give it PL300 app, and then create. Once I create an app, you get an interface like this. Remember what apps are, right? So apps are a place where you're going to put everything together. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to add like 2 to 3 reports. Like I have 2 reports, I'm going to add 2 reports here. So you see how in this particular app, I have both the reports together. Now, if I have to send this to Bharath, like Bharath, please look at my reports. I can just send the link of this particular app. I do not have to send each report separately to him. So that's how apps work, and I also showed you how the dashboards work. Moving on. Any questions? Hope you're understanding, you're having fun. And okay, great. Now talking about workspaces. We're going to get a little in depth into workspaces. Simple processes of how you can create a workspace. Very simple. Go to create, hit workspace, hit create workspace, you get stuff like this. Important things to note here. I think I got a question on this, so I just made sure I added everything. When you create a workspace, there is a mandatory options. There are a couple of optional fields as well. First one is name. Very important thing to remember is unique name. So basically, two workspace cannot have the same name. Keep in mind, it has to be unique. Next, description. It's optional just to make sure the other person knows what the workspace is. Oh, I'm sorry. Then domain can be ignored for now. Workspace image, you can add images here. Now, my question that I got was what type of images you can add there. So make sure it's just .png and .jpg. You cannot have SVGs right here. So keep that in mind. Next, the file size should be less than 45 KB. So these points that you should keep in mind. Next, you have advanced options wherein you have something called contact list. The important thing about contact list is gives you the names of contact whom you can contact if you want to know about workspace. For example, this workspace belongs to me and Bharath. I went on leave. If you have any question about this workspace, my contact list has Bharath. You can go and ask Bharath to do whatever or ask anything about him. So basically just a place to let people know that these are the workspace admins. Okay. So one important thing to note here is in contact list, what is by default, the workspace admins are the contacts. So if there are 3 to 4 workspace admins, they will automatically be added. So two things to take back here is the workspace image can be .png or .jpg. 45 KB should be less than that. What is the contact list? People who know about what's going on in the workspace can be contacted for more information. By default, it's always going to be all the admins. Keep that in mind. Next, license mode. Really frustrating topic. I mean, I don't really like it, but I'm just going to let you know how I remember stuff. There are a lot of license modes. So this is what you will see when you see it live in Power BI. But these are the three main license modes that you need to know about. Pro, PPU, which is premium per user. In the exam, I did not get the abbreviation premium per user. I got PPU. So make sure you know what PPU is. And then the fabric capacity. I'm going to share this PPT deck. So all you need to know about the license modes you will find here. First, talking about the Pro license mode. Important things to note here is any user having the Pro license can access this. Okay, so very important is you must have a Pro license. What can you do? You can create. I mean, all the basic things you can do, like creating or sharing reports, collaborating in workspaces, publishing apps, and all the basic stuff you can do. Is not required. Next is PPU, premium per user. So one thing in mind that has to come is it's per user. So charges are per user. If my team has 2 people, okay, I can pay $20, $20. It's an example. But say if I have like 50 people, PPU is like you have to pay for each user. One important thing is only people with the PPU can access the PPU workspaces or content. Very, very important. What are the advantages of this is it has everything that Power BI Pro has. Plus, it has other stuff like premium AI features and more better advanced performance, can handle larger data as well. So that's PPU. One important thing, once you set a workspace as PPU, you will get a symbol like this. So in my PL300, I did have a question on what this symbol means and what this symbol means. So keep in mind, if you see a diamond with a person inside it, it's per user. So premium per user. Next comes the premium or the fabric capacity. It's just going to have a diamond. So if it has a person, it's PPU. If it doesn't have a person, it's premium capacity. So this is basically the highest level of capacity that you could use. And the best part about this is it can be viewed by any. But if you're going to create, you need to have a license. You need to either have a Power BI Pro or a PPU license. Keep that in mind. So what we're taking back from this slide is three type of license modes which are major. The least one is the Power BI Pro. The maximum one is the premium capacity. The diamond symbol with the person inside it is the PPU, basically the premium per user. And the one without the diamond symbol is the premium. So I've added example of how it looks. So you see down here, like I've set this as a premium capacity, and then I have another workspace here, which is set as a PPU, premium per user. So this is how the icons come up. And like I told you, I had a question on this. So keep that in mind. Next, we are good, right? On time. Okay. Coming to roles and access. So this is one more very important question that is asked in the PL300. Roles. What are roles is lets you manage who can do what. Simple. Like when you see a movie, there are roles like heroes and villains. What do heroes do? You have a set defined rules. What are villains do? You have a set defined rules. Similarly, in Power BI, you can set roles. If I am a part of the workspace, I can have a role. Bharat can have a role, and so on. Important things you need to know are there are four type of roles, and make sure you remember it in this order: viewer, contributor, member, and admin. I'll tell you why. Very, very important. Again, because this particular slide will explain everything to you. Since I said viewer, they have the least permissions, contributor next, member next, and admin has the most. So keep in mind, admin has the most, viewer has the least. What can the viewer do? Basic stuff like view and interact with reports. Very important to note, this is the only role where RLS can be enforced. So keep in mind, whenever you have the word viewer, RLS should come into your mind. Contributor can do everything the viewer can do, plus can add, edit, or create content. What can member do? Can do anything the contributor do, but can manage the content. What can admin do? Can do everything. That's it. These are the things you need to know. And then there's this thing which I got it from the Microsoft documentation. You can take a look at it. But the important thing to remember here is admin has the highest priority, viewer has the lowest priority. Next, how do you set access? Simple. Go to your workspace. So my workspace is this. Go to manage access. In manage access, click on add people or groups. Add in whoever you want. Email ID you have to put in here. In this option, you will get these four roles. You can go and add the roles. Important question what I got here is, can you only add a role? No, you can remove a role as well. After adding a row, you can click on this particular arrow. You will see the option called remove. So make sure you remember that you can add or remove. You can modify as well. So keep those in mind. It's not just adding or giving permission. Next, how do you publish from desktop? I already covered this. Go to desktop, go to publish, and choose whatever workspace you want, and then hit publish. That's it. Very simple. The reason I covered this is you have to remember that there are two ways of publishing a report. One is the common way, which is publishing from Power BI desktop. There's another way where you can insert your PBIX file directly into the workspace. Very important question for PL300. It's not just one way, there are two ways. One is desktop, the other is directly into the workspace. How do you do desktop? Very simple. You just hit publish. It's good to go. How do you do in service is you have to go to your workspace, go to this option called import. This is very, very important. Keep in mind, import. Once you go to import, you can select report and then just from this computer and put in your PBIX. So two ways to publish, either using desktop or directly into the service. Next. Now, this is the important part for how many people are left. To all the 111 people right here. So quick technique of how you can answer questions like this. The question is, which one of the following options is the best description of a workspace? So what you do is, this strategy, I call it it as a keyword strategy. First, look at the option, look at the word workspace. So whatever I taught you about workspace should come into your mind. That cloud symbol should come to your mind. Next option, go to each. Then what we're going to do is doing the rule of elimination. First is picking a keyword. Next is you're going to eliminate options. First, what does this first option say? It says that Workspace is a feature in Power BI service. Correct. Allows the users to view report only. That's wrong because you remember the building blocks of Workspace. I can create reports. I can add reports too. So this is eliminated. Next, Workspace is centralized location. Yes. Remember the cloud icon? That's correct. Then it tells you, helps you to collaborate. That's also correct. Also tells you it has creation of report dashboards and so on. Basically has my building block. So basically this is correct. You need not go to the next option at all, or just go to the next option and see. It says you, it just tells you that it allows you to edit the semantic model. That's totally wrong. So when you have multiple choice questions like this, to save time, pick a keyword. Workspace is my keyword. Then do process of elimination and eliminate whatever doesn't make sense. Quick question. Another one. Which of the following statements about Power BI workspaces is correct? If anyone wants to take a go, just put in your answers in the comments. Now here, first thing, keyword. I'm going to highlight the keyword Power BI workspace. Next, I'm going to use the elimination method. Now, first they're talking about licenses. Whenever you see the word licenses, three type of licenses. Power BI Pro, then I had PPU, and then I had my Fabric. So Power BI Pro, I said it's like a very basic, right? So you can create and share workspaces, correct. And then it says anyone with a free license can access. That's wrong. Remember, Power BI Pro has to be a Power BI Pro. So this particular point is eliminated. Then we have contributors in a workspace can create, edit, or delete content. That's correct. But they can't manage. That's right. So once you see the contributors, the thing that should come into your mind is roles, four type of roles. What was the viewer? Then I had contributor, then I had member, and then I had admin. So what does the contributor do? Every basic thing that the viewer can do, plus can create and add or edit the content. It's correct. So this is my correct answer. This is my wrong answer, and I am good with 2. So this is how you use process of elimination. One more question. Which of the following statements about Power BI apps? Now, when I say Power BI apps, Instagram should come into your mind. Next, start with the process of elimination. Power BI apps are only accessible to users who are members of the workspace where the app was created. That's not true, right? Let it be. Next, once an app is created, users manually search and open for each report separately. No, that's wrong. Because remember, app, I have my post, my reels, my videos together. So I don't have to view or look for them separately. Obviously, when you eliminated the first 2, I have the last left. So that's the answer. That's pretty much just a small tip that I wanted to share on how you can tackle and save time with the multiple choice questions. Oh, I see people commenting. Good job, everyone, whoever commented 3. And moving on. Now we're going to talk about sharing models. I am right on time, 15 minutes. Good. Sharing models. There are 3 types of sharing you can do. First thing, keep in mind, sharing models is basically, I am going to share all my work with Bharath. Okay. 3 types can be done. One is using roles. We already spoke about it. Viewer, contributor, member, and admin. Next is item level sharing. What you can do is only specific reports can be shared. Very easy. When you share specific reports, you can even control the access. Like Bharath can view my report, but I will not allow him edit it. Now, how am I going to share with him? I'm going to use either links. I'm going to share the link of the report with him, or I'm going to directly grant access. So remember, item level sharing, item level. So very specific with selected individuals. They can view but cannot edit. How I'm going to do is either share a link or I'm going to directly grant access. That's about the item level. Next is I can use Power BI apps. This is very important for larger audience. We already spoke about this, so we can ignore it. One important, this particular note you need to remember. This was one of the questions that I got. It is important to remember one workspace can have only one app. Remember in the demo, when I created a app, so one workspace can have only one particular app. And then when you have the content, when you add the content inside the app, it should belong to that workspace. Now, when I'm creating Instagram, I cannot add YouTube shorts into Instagram. I can only add what is there in that workspace Instagram. So that's very important. Just keep that in mind. Next, how do you create a Power BI app? Very simple. I showed you. You go to new item, you find out the app, give the app a name, add content to it, select whatever you want. Once you do that, you get your app. That's pretty much about the Power BI app. Next, important, data governance principles. First, like remember I told you two words when it came to semantic models, promoted and certified. Similarly, whenever you see this word data governance in PL300, two things should come into your mind. One is endorsing, two is sensitivity label. So these are the two important things. Let's talk about endorsing. What does endorsing does is it helps the user to identify the high quality data. Okay. Now, in the endorsing, there are two types. One is promotion and one is certification. What is promotion is it will help you highlight the content. Like simple, when you get promoted, what happens? You get highlighted, right? So when it is promotion, it's going to help you highlight the content. And how do they highlight the content? Is there's a badge next to it. There will be a badge next to it to make sure that we tell them that this is a promoted content. Next is certification. Certification will tell you that this content is good. It meets all my standards. Simple. You all are giving PL300. Once you clear PL300, all of you are certified data analyst. Similarly, when you are going to give the content a certification, you are just telling that it passes all the quality standards. Quick important thing to note is not everyone can certify the content. Only the authorized reviewer. So there is a setting wherein you have to set that person as a reviewer. So only authorized reviewers can do that. And how do I know if it is certified? It also has a badge. So things to remember when I have data governance, I have something called endorsing. Endorsing is basically trying to find out the high quality data. Two types of endorsing are there. One is promotion, one is certification. Promotion, you get promoted in job. Basically, you get highlighted. How do I know I got promoted? I have a title called, you get a title, right? So you get a badge here. Certification, you all are going to get PL300 certified, right? So basically just telling you that you are good to go, you're a good data analyst. So certification is basically giving a content that this matches all the quality standards. Important things, not everyone can do it, only authorized reviewers can do it. How do I know if it is certified? There'll be a distinct badge for it. Perfect. Next, I'm going on to sensitivity label. What is sensitivity label? Basically, it will help you tag the content, either tell it is confidential or highly confidential. So basically, adding sensitivity, saying that this is a confidential data, let's not send it to everyone. Now, important things to note is when a sensitivity label is applied, it will be visible in your workspace. Even if you export it, it will persist. So this was one of the questions that I got in PL300. What is the speciality about sensitivity label? So when you apply a sensitivity label, what is sensitivity label? Just marking something, it is confidential or highly confidential. Once you apply a label, it will be there in your workspace. If it is there in your workspace, even when you are going to export it, it will be exported. The label will still persist. So this is one important point that you need to remember. So these are about simple governance principles in Power BI. One more thing is whenever you see this word usage metrics, I did not get a question, but I've heard a lot of people get questions on this. So make sure you remember this, that if you want to monitor or track your performance, you need to know the usage metrics. I haven't gone detailed into it because I don't really see a lot of questions on this. So just remember the word usage metrics. If the word comes, keep in mind helps you monitor and track your performance in Power BI. Next, simple dashboards in Power BI. I already showed you. I have two reports, two visuals right here. How can you create dashboards is using the word pinning. You have to pin these visuals. Once you pin these visuals, they become tiles. Very important. So you get something like this. So this is one tile and this is my two tile. Remember the word tile for sure whenever you get the dashboard. Next, data alerts. Remember I told you before, whenever you have data alerts, so data alerts can be set only in dashboards. Dashboards can be created only in Power BI service. So obviously data alerts is available only in Power BI service. What is data alerts? Simple English term, alerts is what is going to notify, give you an alert. What it gives you an alert is if a specific data point is below, above, or at a specific threshold that you can set. Basically, you can set a goal. Data alert will tell you if that point is above the goal, below the goal, or at the goal. Simple. Like I told you, available only in Power BI service. Now, very important thing to note is they're available in only specific elements like KPI visuals, gauges, and cards. And even in a couple of charts as well. So in short, it's not available everywhere. Now, how do you set data alerts is simply go to a visual, go to these three dots on top, you will get something called manage alerts. Once you get manage alerts, you have to add an alert rule and then you can set whatever rule you want. Once you set the rule, you can enable the send me an email to option. What happens is whenever there's going to be a above condition, so basically whenever my CO2 emissions go above, I'm going to get a notification. Important thing is you can also set the notification frequency. You do not want to keep getting the notification, right? So, I mean, you can, if you want, according to your business needs, either have it once an hour or you can have once every 24 hours. So this is how you set data alerts. This much is more than enough for data alerts. Next, RLS and OLS. Lot of people have been asking about RLS and OLS. I think I'm going to need 5 more minutes, Bharath, and then you can take over. Perfect. Now let's talk about securing data access in Power BI, basically RLS and OLS. Now, why do we need RLS? Let's talk about that. Say you're working in a company. Your company has a database, sales, products, and employee. Now you have to create a report where HR people can see only HR stuff, finance people can see only finance. So basically, you're going to by rows of data, you're going to add security. That's where row level security comes. So important things to remember, access data at a row level. And the reason I add in these scenarios is it'll be easy for you to relate. That's the only reason. Coming back to RLS, gives you access to the data at row level. So basically, the users can see only the data that is in their role. That's it. Next, for any RLS, you need to create one or more roles. So remember, whenever you have the word RLS, it's going to be role related. The role should have a unique name. So two roles cannot have the same name. You cannot have H. And for each of these roles, you need to use DAX filter expressions. That's very important. So when it's RLS, control access at a row level can create one or more roles, and then you have to use the DAX filter expressions. I am going to quickly show you what are the types. For remember, RLS has these types, 3 types, static, dynamic, and SSO. The most used ones are static and dynamic. English terms, static is fixed, and it's very good for small number of roles. Dynamic, when you have larger number of roles and it keeps changing. SSO is something you can ignore, but it's only used in some data sources, but make sure you know that there are 3 types. That's very important. Now, how do you set RLS? One, you create a report in Power BI desktop. Now, the reason I am not showing it to you, I'm telling this to you is because I got a question where I had to match the steps on the steps of how you can create an RLS. So that's why I put it in English words so that you remember. One is you create a report in Power BI desktop. Next, you have to set RLS roles using DAX. Once you set, you can test it inside the desktop itself. Then you can deploy it to your Power BI service. After deploying, you can add more members to it, and then you can do a final testing. So these are the 6 main steps of how you can configure an RLS. I'll show you a live demo of how you do it. How do you set up in desktop is you go to the modeling tab. So this is also one of the questions one of my mentee got was simple. Where can I go and set my RLS? It was simple. It was just modeling tab. Now, if you do not remember modeling, you're going to lose score then and there. So remember, the roles you will find in the modeling tab. Once you hit on manage roles, you will get something like this. First step you need to do is click on new and create a role. So I just put in a name called Karan because one of the roles has Karan there. And then you have to choose which what rule you're going to set from which table. So I'm just going to select my scores table and I'm going to add in a rule right here, basically adding a filter expression right here. Student equals to Karan. Now remember I told you about DAX. You can just use the switch to DAX editor to view it. And then how do you test? Same, go to the modeling tab. Instead of manage roles, you go to view as, you get something like this. I will quickly show you a quick demo of it. So I have a report right here. I'm going to the modeling tab, going on to manage roles. Let me delete these roles. Going to add a new role, going to rename as Karan. So basically, only Karan can view this. That's my aim. Then I'm going to students, going to create a new role. I have my student equals to Karan. Enable this. Also, quickly switching to the DAX editor. You see how automatically DAX comes up. Don't worry about it. And then hit save. Once you hit save, you have to get this particular dialog box which says it's applied. Close it. Now go to view as. You see how I initially have 1, 2, 3, 4 slices here. When I go to view as, I will get my new role Karan. Hit Karan and hit OK. You see how I am able to see only Karan. So basically, I have consolidated my data for Karan. Only Karan can see. This is called row level security. So I've showed you how you can create it, and I've showed you how you can view it. So that was a quick demo of row level security. Next is you can add more members or add new roles to that particular security in Power BI service. The way you do that is go to your semantic model, click on these 3 ellipses, choose security. You will get it right here. So if I created finance row level security and HR row level security. Now, inside these finance and HR, I need to add members, right? How will I know who are my HR members? So I need to add in my members there. And for finance, I need to add in more members there. Bharat, quick information. I just need 5 more minutes to wrap this up. Okay, so quick important points to note is when the members sign in, they will only be able to see the data that applies to them. Quick example. If Karan is able to see only his data. So that's one thing you have to remember. Next is dynamic RLS. Like I told you, dynamic is it keeps changing. How does it keep changing? You have to either use your username or your email address. This is a very important question that comes up in PL 300. Difference between username and user principal name. Username is it comes up as domain/username, and user principal is email. Very, very, very important. The username in the desktop comes as domain/username, but in service, it comes as an email ID. I don't know, this is a drawback or I don't know how it works, but this is how it is. User principal name always comes as email in desktop and service. So it is always better to use user principal name. This is a very important question, and I can bet you will get one question on this. The way you set up a dynamic RLS, same method. Create a new role, select whatever table you want, and then you have to go to the DAX editor view and use this particular function, either username or user principal name, and hit save. That's it. That's how you create dynamic. So whenever you have static in mind, you have to set values. When you have dynamic in mind, you have to either use username or user principal name. Next, quick OLS. What is OLS? I have a company. Company has a lot of tables. Now my tables have phone number, I have name, I have email address, I have salary, I have Aadhaar card number, PAN card number, so and so. When I'm creating the report for a general public, I should not show the salary, right? I need to hide only that column. So I have an employee table. So whenever you have the word OLS, remember this diagram. I have employee table, but the salary field should not be shown. That's OLS, object level security. Salary is an object, so I am hiding it. That's object. How do you do that? Is you initially we used to use tabular editor, which is a third-party tool. But now using the Timdale view, you can use it. You will not get much questions on OLS because Timdale is a preview, but you need to know what OLS is. Keep that in mind. We can skip this. Make sure you go through this when I share the PPT with you. Last slide. Just keep in mind what the restrictions of your OLS are, because I got a question on this. Say I have three tables, A, B, and C. One of the column leads to B. There is some column in B which leads to C. Basically, A, B, C are in a chain relationship. If you go ahead and decide to add OLS to B, you're blocking B. What will happen is that's one of the drawbacks. So you cannot block B because B has something dependent on A and C has something dependent on B. The only way you can use OLS here is if A and C have a direct connection. Keep this in mind. This is the only restriction of OLS. And pretty much done with the presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Bharath, for the opportunity. And I think waking up at 5 a.m. was worth it. And all the best to everyone who's going to attempt the PL 300.
Oh, okay. I was speaking on mute. Thank you so much, Lakshmi, for your wonderful session. So far, this is
Mm-hmm.
one of the best session. You could see your YouTube comments in the live. They really loved your
Oh,
way
okay.
of presentation, and I'll get all the details from Lakshmi with respect to the slides, the PBX file, and the PPT what she have delivered. I'll get it for you guys. Don't worry. Just give us some time. So Lakshmi, I think you did a great job. I'll be sharing your links, your top mate, mentoring, LinkedIn, YouTube, blogs, everything in our group. I think you're already in the group, or we will also sharing from our
Yes.
side. Uh, it
Mm-hmm.
one special thanks because it's very early for you. You are attending this, taking this call from US. I can understand, but when I reached
Yes.
out, you
Yeah.
have never said no to us. So thank you. Uh,
Thank you.
we are done for the day, guys. We have a last one announcement. Lakshmi, if you want to drop off, you can. Otherwise, you can stay back. It's up to you. So we have one of our
Sure.
in this series PL 300. When we announced, we have our partner where he is having some of the opportunities for our Hyderabad data and AI community. So I am giving an access to speak what kind of a job opportunities we are actually having it. So we have Karthik on board. Hi, Karthik. You can unmute and you can just introduce yourself and you can just share some of our audience. You're on mute. Karthik, if you are speaking, you're on mute. People can hear my voice. Karthik, are you able to hear my voice? Karthik, if you are speaking, I think now you are. Yeah, now we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi guys. Good evening, everyone. So thank you, Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Audible now?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, please go ahead with your information for our audience.
Yes. Uh, Good evening, everyone.
Karthik, I think audience cannot hear your voice. They can only through YouTube chat. We can interact with them. So you can just go through your information. So you can start continue.
Uh, well, uh, Good evening, everyone. I feel the session was very insightful. if the session was very, I mean, you have learned something, so comment with I if it's insightful and amazing.
Yes, I think they're on track. They are saying it's amazing.
So thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you, Amit and Pankaj and Yoshitha and Keerthi for your efforts in putting out this session, and Pankaj and Amit for hosting the session as part of the Hyderabad data community. Uh, well, as you are on this session from this morning, so I would like to announce you something which can enhance your careers. So we are about to announce a special offer uh, to move up your ladders. So are you interested?
Yes, the comment box is raised. They are interested.
Will not take much time. So we are going to offer you something like, let me announce you a special referral offer where we could refer you to all the MNCs across India. If you are looking for Power BI developer roles or any other opportunities and are willing to join in some organization and looking to enhance your career, you can check out easyrefer.in. I'll be sharing the links in the group. Can I share you the demo?
If you have, please, you can screen share quickly. You have an access to screen share. Let's say if I'm someone, I am an experienced person, how can I use your platform from our community and how can I apply for jobs? Just show one demo.
Yeah, great. So the thing is, like, if I am working for some organization called Capgemini, so I can refer you in I can refer you in Capgemini with in any other open positions at Capgemini. So for that, you can just need to visit our website.
Mm. If you're on screen share, I did not received it. Yeah, now it's
Is it
loading.
up?
Yeah, now it is
Yeah.
fine. You can start. Yep, I got your website.
Yes, you can just simply visit our website easyrefer.in and you can go to our careers page. This link will be shared in the group. There are a lot of opportunities, referral opportunities here. If you are looking for Power BI developer roles, so just you can search it with the title and you'll be having some roles here.
Okay, so with this title of Power BI, I could see a lot of jobs are available in your portal. So this is for our audience to get it referred, right? So for example,
Yes,
if
yes,
you just
yes.
click someone is looking for this Power BI developer at Zensar Technologies in the package of 729. Okay, just click that and
Yeah,
shows.
they can just visit and
Yeah.
check out the job.
Okay, this is for
Yeah,
2+ years of an
based on
experience
the
and the range they have is 7 to
yes.
9. Okay, job overview we have, key deliverables we have, and the requirements we have. Okay, okay, and the skills expected from a candidate is also available. Okay, next.
Just simply apply.
Okay, okay, after clicking on apply, a platform is loading for us. Okay,
Just give your details
mm-hmm. Okay,
and
it is
upload your
asking for
resume.
base level details and we have to upload like all other platforms. We have to click our resumes, number of years of experience in some of the elements. Okay, perfect.
And it
And
will ask some basic questions based on our skill set.
okay, for that company they have default okay job related stuff questions.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
I have
yes.
answered it. Okay, then next at the end we
After
have
answering the question, then you
uh,
can just click on submit, and you will be referred to the referrer who is
Okay.
working across organizations. Like for this role, if it's sensors technologies, so
Uh-huh.
you'll be referred this job role to the employee from Zensar,
Okay. Through
and
easy
he'll be
refer.
referring you,
Mm.
yeah, through easy refer. He'll be referring you to the job at Zensar.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
So you'll be from there, like the participants will get communicated from Zensar Technologies.
That's a good opportunity for all our audience. This is what we needed, guys. See, from Hyderabad Data and AI Community, we are not just creating a learning experience, because at the after learning, the next stage is your job opportunity, right? So that's how we are bringing few partners. I think one of the partner is Easy Refer for this PL300 series. So I think whoever is attended this session, they can apply. We also have internships, right, in this portal, internships and work experience with different
Yes,
titles.
yes.
So what you can do, we will be keeping these links in our group, so you can just explore by giving some job titles, number of years, so that you can get your accurate job, which is perfectly fit for you. Then you can explore all the opportunities and you apply it. So I think Easy River can have a tracking mechanism, like how many people applied, and we can able to get it back.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Karthik. Anything to say?
Uh, that's all for now. Hope the session was very insightful to all the amazing audience of Height.
Yeah.
100 plus
Yes, yes. So far,
from
100
morning.
from morning onwards, 100 plus people are participating. Yep. Okay. So I have few closure
Yeah,
announcements. So guys, I think
thank
Easy
you.
Refer we are keeping. Thank you so much, Karthik, for collaborating with us, our Hyderabad Data and AI community. So looking forward for any success stories from this collaboration. Thank you so much, Karthik.
Yeah, I'll be keeping posted.
Yep. You can stop sharing it.
Thank you.
Okay. You can drop off if you need it. Okay, so the people who are in the call, so we just left with the last one and of the movement. Uh, I think the Q&A what I am receiving is how can I get the voucher? So for voucher part, I think in the session one I have shown you all the steps. Go through the session one recording and apply accordingly. What wordings you can able to add? So after this call, I'll keep that document in our group. So I will be posting those questions. You can use that opportunity. And number two, you will be receiving a 50% voucher based on the parameters what you are adding on the link. So once you get an voucher, you have an option to complete your exam by December 31st only. After that, you cannot take a extension. The voucher will be expired. So 50% you have to pay it, and 50% Microsoft will be sponsoring for you. And only if you are giving our sessions as a link there. Okay. And for practicing and everything, I think we will be by tomorrow. We will get some of the details from all the speakers. I'll collect everything and I can share it with you. So if you are, getting all the learnings, only thing what we expect, share your learnings on LinkedIn. Probably you have taken all the screenshots. Upload your learnings and tag my pay, tag me, and tag all the speakers. Tag our community, Hyderabad Data and AI community as well, so that it will be reaching to the larger audience. So we also do this kind of online events and offline events. So you will be notified with upcoming events for sure. So I believe you had a great learning. So thank you so much everyone who participated till the end of this. Thank you. I'm closing the live.